Thank you so much for joining our virtual open day at Learna. My name's Toby Gisborne. I'm the Senior Marketing Executive here at Learna. And again, thank you so much for joining our day. We'll keep you for an hour to hour and a half today, and we'll just go over some of the things of what Learna Diploma MSc offer to you. You're very welcome to use the chat box, ask any questions, have a chat with each other, be as engaging as you want. And we are also very blessed to have our admissions team who will answer any of your questions as well. Through the day, I'll be answering your questions as well, making sure any important ones that I think is worth listening to. I'll make those aware. Just a bit of housekeeping. Please keep yourselves on mute during the session, and your cameras as well. Probably best to keep those off. And then, like I said, very welcome to use the chat box, and we'll be answering any questions you have during the day. And the agenda for the next hour or so is Helen, our head of partners and programs, is going to give you a brief introduction to Learna. She'll go into the insights, the history of what Learna is, and how we can benefit you. We're also incredibly lucky to have Carl New here from the University of South Wales. He's going to give an introduction to our partnership with the University of South Wales. Then we'll go on to our medical experts, Dr. Anis Katecha and Dr. Karuna Hatharamani. They're both going to talk about our programs and our assessment methods and things like that. They're both actually program leads as well and tutors for our programs. So, any in-depth questions you have or specific questions, that I'm sure they'll be happy to answer those for you. We're also incredibly lucky to have a demo of our online learning platform. Helen Davis is going to do that again, and she'll give a demonstration of interactive online learning platform for you. Then it'll be passed on to our admissions team and our head of admissions, Catherine Scarfield, who will explain the admissions process. Our application deadline is coming up very soon. It's the 30th of August. So hopefully this hour or so, if you're interested, it might help your decision process. Then we'll head over to student services, and Anna is going to discuss student support and how they can be there to help you during your journey. And then finally, we'll end on a good old Q&A. Any questions you have, pop them in the chat box, and I'll be going through them during our Q&A session. Right. Firstly, we'll head straight over to Helen, who'll give us a good introduction to Learna. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Toby, and thank you everyone for joining us. This is wonderful. It's so lovely to see you all online. I hope you can all hear us, you can all see us, and as Toby has said, please ask us as many questions and please engage as much as you can throughout the process. We want this to be a really human experience, really good engagement point, and an opportunity for you to really get a feeling for the team behind our online platform and our vision for delivery. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to go into a short presentation just to show a little bit about Learna. Hold on, bear with me. Let me just get on there. All right, so we are Learna. Our vision and our mission is around improving global healthcare through medical education. Our drive and the things that bring us to work every day and the things that we build into our delivery and into our presentation of programs through our online platform is to empower busy professionals just like yourselves to continue your education alongside your work at a time that really does suit you, and times when it is so important for you to develop your career, to add those really crucial qualifications on top of your expertise as you develop through the career paths in your own country, in areas where you may want to move and to specialize into certain key areas, into certain specialties within your particular healthcare systems. We offer a global classroom and a global internet-based experience for students and for our network of tutors. So a little bit about Learna and Diploma MSc. Diploma MSc is the platform where you may well have already found some of our programs and some of the program listings and some information about individual programs. But broadly, our Learna family, or the Learna process, has been established since about 2010. And diabetes was our first program and continues to be one of our most popular programs. So we continue to develop new programs each year. And we've currently got about 43, 45 programs ranging a broad range of healthcare specialties. I'll go into some of those topics a little later. And no doubt you'll have some favourites and some thoughts already in mind as to what you indeed already applied for or you're considering applying for. We've got 7,700 alumni. That continues to grow because we have 2 intakes per year. So we intake students in March and in September. And at any one time, we've got about 1,500 students actively working through their programs on our online platform. We have a network of about 600 expert tutors. They are experts in delivering education, but more importantly, alongside the students who are engaging with these programs while they're working through their healthcare careers, so do our tutors. We want all of our tutors to be fully embedded in the healthcare systems that we are helping you to progress your careers in. So they are also working professionals within their particular specialty areas. That network and that global learning community enables us to deliver a program 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where you can engage as and when you need to, and you can feel part of that learning community that I'll describe just as we go through the program, how we set our students into specific learning groups, and we assign a tutor to small groups of students, up to 20 students per group, to give you a real feeling of being part of a community of practice, a part of a group of students where you will continue that network. As we see with many of our alumni, they continue those connections through their healthcare careers. So we want to improve global healthcare, and we want to deliver expert education into the higher education market. The good news is around 40% of our students actually come back to us and take further courses. So it's a real testament to the experience, the student experience that is part of the delivery of the content. Yes, of course, you're coming here to learn a higher level and knowledge within the particular specialty areas that you would like to develop. But your experience while you're here is all important to us. And we have a team around us and built up here with experience of helping to support you through that. Just quickly, in our last cohort of students, we had students coming in from over 75 different countries. And as I say, many of those come back to us time and time again. So what are the benefits of choosing Learna? So Learna is affordable and accessible education. We do not apply an international surcharge. We apply a standard fee for UK and for international students. It allows us to really open the doors to higher education and to allow students at various roles and at various parts of their career to improve their career prospects and to come and take education as and when they can throughout their career paths. We have a broad range of topics, as I described. We have over 45 topics within core medical and healthcare areas, and an increasing number of complementary topics that really fit in between those larger medical core curriculum specialties that you would expect to see. We are a big fan, and we are big on reflective practice. If you're a healthcare professional in the UK, you'll know how important personal reflection is to your continued development, not only for yourself personally, but for your team, for the team that you work with, and with the healthcare system that you're working within. Personal reflection, setting action plans, and working towards those plans are all very important parts of healthcare delivery. We put a certain amount of time on helping you to develop those skills. So even if it's something that's new to you, as it is with a number of our students, we will give you those skills alongside the healthcare education that we are dealing with as well on that topic level. And we are an online platform. We monitor all interactions and we make sure that you are engaged. Our learning and instructional design has been implemented to a Moodle platform, which is very well known. Moodle is a well-known online delivery platform for this type of virtual engagement. And our experience within our tutor network, within the medical education leads that we have with us. We have Anish and Karuna with us today, and many in our network who are experienced in medical education, and how we deliver that to be as engaging as possible. We want you to enjoy this experience. We want you to learn from it, and we want you to contribute to that community as you move forward. So all of those points are built in purposefully to the platform. And I'm going to give you a little demo of that a little later on. As I say, that whole network of experienced tutors are experienced in their topics. You can see Dr. Rajat there, who's a consultant rheumatologist. Riz, as we know him affectionately here within the team, delivers and oversees our rheumatology program. That's a standard. That's a standard for all of our program leads, that they are experts in their field, and they are also really passionate about passing on education and progressing people at a higher education level. What we also hear from our range of tutors is that it's as much a learning experience for them and a positive experience for their own personal development, being part of that community of learning and that discussion around those topics. Yourselves, you are all postgraduates, you are all experienced and at various stages in healthcare delivery, and we want to make sure that you bring your experience to those environments as much as listening and learning from the content and from the tutors. So you won't find lectures here, you won't find somebody standing on a stage and rolling through a slide deck, even though I am right now, forgive me, but there's just a few slides. But we really want to engage an online discussion, an online debate, and we want to give you shared problems to solve, realistic problems that come from real scenarios and are embedded in the healthcare systems that you are working in or that you aspire to go on and work in. So these are the types of people that we have leading our program. But as I say, we have a very large network. So each program has a program lead, and then we have a network of tutors that deliver the content on their behalf. A little about the program structure, and I'm going to let Anish and Karuna, no doubt, come into this a little later, and I'll also show you when we get onto the Moodle platform in a little while. But each of our modules, each of our programs are set out in specific modules, and they run sequentially. So everybody in your study group will start at module 1, and you'll all progress through module 2 and module 3. If you're joining us for a PG Cert, then you're going to complete your PG Cert in 6 months, and that's 3 modules. So just those first 3 modules that you can see there, either at a September start date, as we have coming up, or a March start date then from March 25 onwards. As you go through, if you are then going on to do a diploma or a master's, which many of our students will be, of course, then you'll just continue on to module 4, and then we'll start taking in module 1 for the cohort behind you. So there's a rolling pattern of our programs to ensure that all of our students get through there in a very ordered way, but in a very well-structured process. So all of your marks, all of your progress, all of your success, all the way through will be fed back to you at key points in your progression. Just when you want that information, that's just when our team are going to be bringing that to you and showing you what comes next. A little about our program portfolio. I'm hoping that you've had a look at our fantastic website, which certainly lays out all of our programs, but we have a broad range. There may be something, no doubt, that's bringing you to us for the first time, or you may have been a student in the past and you're going to come back and try one of our other topics. We are continuously developing new programs and new topic areas, but we cover all of the core specialties within a general medicine curriculum. Our programs are aimed at primary care audiences. We have secondary care consultants, and we have experts across all levels of healthcare who are delivering the programs. But we are very keen to make sure that the program's content, and the engagement within your particular student group is inclusive and multidisciplinary team in focus. So we know that when you go back into your role, or indeed if you're taking time to come out of your role to come to this open day today, then a multidisciplinary team approach is so important in healthcare. Engaging with your peers and your colleagues on all levels is so important, and we know that that also brings better patient outcomes. So again, we are focused on making sure that essence is kept within all of our programs, and the content is delivered in just that way, to be accessible and to be applicable. So many of our students will be on our programs within the academic forum, which we'll show you shortly, and discussing a realistic case scenario and solving a problem between them. And many students will come back and say that they went back onto the wards, or they went back into their clinic the next day, and they saw that very scenario. A patient with that presentation came to them, and then they were able to tap into that knowledge. So applicable knowledge right at the point of care is very important for us to be able to deliver. So even though we're online, we are delivering content that is completely relevant on your healthcare settings. And then a little bit about graduate outcomes. And of course, this is an actual photo, so please don't think these are stock photos. These are our wonderful graduates, just from our most recent graduation ceremony with the University of South Wales. And we're delighted to have Carl New with us today from USW, as we affectionately call it here, but University of South Wales is a recognised UK and international postgraduate delivery mechanism for us, and we have partnered along with USW and also with the University of Buckingham. So we have a variety of programs across our partnerships, but these happen to be USW graduates who are coming through in our graduation ceremony. Graduate outcomes are so important to us. We want you to have a fantastic experience on the program, but we want you to take that experience on and use that knowledge and contribute to that area of specialty. That may be through further research. We would certainly encourage everybody to write papers that would be suitable to be published if you get to that master's level. And we also want you to be able to apply that knowledge straight back into your workforce, and to help yourself and your teams to develop with that increased knowledge. So again, just to go through those main points, it's flexible study alongside your work and life commitments. It's applicable knowledge. We give you realistic problems to solve as a group, and you are mentored and facilitated by expert tutors. We have some really robust assessments that I know that Anish is going to go through with you shortly, to make sure you're reassured that we're testing you. We know that you know these topics. We know that you have earned this master's or this postgraduate diploma or this postgraduate certificate, and you can go back with full confidence that you have those that enhanced knowledge in hand. And our graduates report an increase in their salaries. This is so important to us to make sure that it directly applies to your work. As a little bit of an overview, just a sort of a whistle-stop tour through some of our features. Please ask any questions as we go along, and we'll dig into a few of those topics as well now as we progress. But shall I hand over to Carl, or back to you, Toby, a second? But just
yeah, let's pass straight over to Carl. Thanks, Helen. That was fantastic. Thank you, Carl. Ready when you are.
Thanks, Toby. Welcome, everyone. Thanks to Helen as well for that fantastic overview there. I'm delighted to see so many people on the call, as Helen has said. So I'm representative of University of South Wales, USW, as you saw there. Fantastic to see on Helen's last slide there. The end of the full journey, which is then seeing that graduation ceremony, seeing our wonderful students cross the stage. I think that really exemplifies that you're both a student of the university partner and Learna. As Helen said, there's a number of university partners depending on which course you choose. My university, University of South Wales, has a large portfolio with Learna, but it's true collaborative delivery. So as Helen has said in her presentation, You have the wonderful expertise of the specialised tutors, led by the course directors, also specialised oversight and direction of their originally writing the material, designing the curriculum, and your tutors guiding you through. So it gives us as a university entry into deliver courses that we might not necessarily deliver on campus. So really view yourself when you do these courses, absolutely, that you're a student of both. Some tips I've been associated, it's wonderful to see how the program has grown associated for a long time. As Helen said, from just after when that first course was developed in diabetes, and then we moved through, and then I really got involved in sports and exercise medicine, and then all the courses have developed from there. And really, at the university, it's my main role is to I guess oversee and look after the partnership in collaboration with a colleague of all the elements there. So your first port of call, even though you are a student of both, your first port of call, I guess, is a big tip for you on this, really from the start, from the admission process through, is your contact with Learna. As the courses and the portfolio has grown, Learna themselves have matched that growth, and now you have dedicated teams. You can see on the call here, representative of those teams, not only just marketing. Toby's here for Helen, oversight of the partnerships. Anish and colleagues around the academic side, but also, admissions, student support. So the variety of teams and the resource you have, your first point of call is with Learna, and the fantastic dedicated resources that they have. They liaise directly with us if you are on a USW program. And then I'm involved in discussions around there. We obviously have all of the matching dedicated facilities at the university. So Learna may direct you to, if you're on a USW course, or likewise with another partner, to go through the process for that university. So, the complete journey through from Learna taking you, as we call onboarding, getting you in and your interest from admission stage all the way through from the delivery, the expert delivery that Learna do. And just that's one of those slides Helen had that really resonated, stuck out to me. 73 different countries. What a rich, wonderful kind of cohort you have around you, all bringing expertise in their own nuances and kind of niche discussion from their own healthcare experience, qualifications coming into the mix. So that real richness around it, which makes for a fantastic kind of learning oversight. I tutor across programs as well, so I have insight over a number of years of doing that. And as Helen said, all the way through to MSc level, where we're seeing publications come from the MSc projects. But it really exemplifies, and the university holds it. My university especially holds it as an example of a very successful partnership with kind of experts in specialised curriculum to come through. So you absolutely do get, I've seen in the chat some discussions around qualifications and where that comes, certification, and as Learna have guided you there, absolutely depending on what course you've enrolled through or when that certification comes, but it's a USW awarded. You're going to want that validation, as we call it, from a university body. So USW, our job is to go through, and principally my job, oversight in terms of it meets the qualities and the qualifications. So this is the highest level postgraduate study in the UK. We call that level 7. So from pre-PG certificate through to PG diplomas through to MScs, each course has been validated, experts in the field and external to Learna and University of South Wales around those panels assessing the quality of the curriculum and the material that's going to be delivered. So we've done a number of these calls now. Fantastic to see the number interested in the courses. I know not all of you, it may be a course that isn't partnered with USW, but still the overall interest in the portfolio and just the growth and where we've seen go and new innovations. If you see some of our new USW, particularly with Learna, some of our PG certificates are short courses there, 60 credits, 3 modules in some very specialised curriculum, which we're really excited about. But we're we're not ignoring our postgraduate diplomas and our MSc pathways, which continue to grow. So it's always a pleasure to be at this. I thank Learna for inviting me again. No slides from me, as you can tell. I know Anish and Helen have and others have other elements to go through with you, but a very warm welcome. I hope to see you, as many of you as possible come on through onto the programs, and then we may find ourselves interacting in other areas, and then all the way to the end. And we have more pictures, like Helen just showed, of our wonderful graduation ceremonies and the gowns, and etc. So you may never go to the university itself. You may be around that. Of course, you can as a student on a USW Learner course go to the university, but of course it's all delivered very flexibly and remotely, so you don't need to. But absolutely, we hold our graduation ceremony in the International Convention Centre, Conference Centre in Newport, which kind of is the city next to Cardiff in South Wales. And it's a wonderful occasion. So I hope to see as many of you there at the end of your journey, just as much as you are now starting your journey. So that's it from me. Thank you to colleagues again. I can hang around for a bit, but apologies, I will have to leave during as the next speakers come on. I've got a meeting in due course. But thank you again, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Carl. I really appreciate that. It's really interesting to touch on the graduation that we had. We had one with USW, didn't we, in January, and we had nearly 200 people there at the convention. It was absolutely fantastic. So and which does actually bring me on to one of the questions that came through. At the end of the postgraduate diploma, do we get to travel to the UK for a physical graduation? Yes, you do. You whether it's with the University of South Wales or the University of Buckingham, there will be a graduation be held where you can get your degree certificate and accredited from that relative partner. And another thing you mentioned, Carl, was about our worldwide community, and that's very much represented so far today. We've got people from the UK, Australia, Qatar, Malaysia, Namibia, Trinidad and Tobago, Canada. So thank you so much for joining, and thanks for letting us know where you are in the world. Right, thank you so much, Carl, for that, and I'll pass on to Dr. Anish Katecha.
Thank you so much, Toby. These are hard acts to follow, aren't they? We've got Toby, we've got Helen, and we've got Carl. This is a really hard act to follow. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Anish Katecha. I am a 1-minute summary of me. I am a GP by background. I have been for 9 years now. And I'm also the head of medical education here at Learna. I want to just extend my excitement, like everyone else's, that we've got so many people logging on from different areas of the world, and it really is representative of the types of people and where they come from, and actually what they do on our courses. And I think, hopefully, as I'll kind of I'll make you aware now, that really is a huge, strong selling point of our programs, and the value that our programs can often bring is having not only people from different areas of the globe, but also a very multidisciplinary team on our programs. Our students, as Helen said, can be from primary or secondary care, and they can be doctors, nurses, pharmacists, physiotherapists, physician associates. We do have a really multidisciplinary team on our programs, and that really adds a huge amount of value. I was at kind of one of the graduation ceremonies recently, and I would probably go a step further and say we really do encourage you to come to these events, because I kind of saw families there kind of coming and celebrating the success of people that have worked, really quite hard on our programs. And that kind of makes that certificate all that more important. So I would also say, please do come to our graduation ceremonies, because it really is something to celebrate, and everyone has a really good time at the awards. And it's a great way to hold that certificate, have a photo, and actually meet the faculty. It's really nice to meet you guys and to sort of hear about your experiences on our programs. So I kind of wanted to, if it's okay, just give you an idea as to kind of how the how the programs work, and the kind of assessment methods that you will use throughout your programs. Helen gave you a really nice overview there of how our programs work. I'm also one of the program leads and one of the tutors, and as I speak now, I'm tutoring 2 cohorts on our family medicine course and program. So we utilize different methods of assessment, and the reason we do this is I think we really understand medics, and me being a medic too. We're very used to having different modes of assessment. Where, when I was becoming a GP, I had numerous modes of assessment, and I'm very used to it. And I think medics on the whole, or healthcare professionals, should I say, really are used to different methods of being assessed. But also, we recognize that people have different learning styles and they work really well in different formats. So our programs have essentially 4 elements of assessment. So, and I'll name them all first, and then I'll kind of take you through each of them in turn, if I may. So we've got the academic forum, which is an online format where lots of people will come in and discuss pre-populated, really rich clinical case scenarios. So our programs are designed with subject level experts and our in-house sort of content generation team. So our academic forum makes up 40% of the mark of a program. So 40% of your mark will come from this academic forum. That's where you will really engage with all of your peers in your cohort, and you will answer questions based around really rich clinical cases, the types of cases you're likely to come across in your healthcare setting. And that discussion between you and your peers will be facilitated by one of our tutors. So there's a tutor online who will post a clinical scenario. They will post some questions around that, and then will ask the students to really engage in a conversation, bring evidence from the literature, or bring your own experiences as to how you might investigate that case, how you might manage that case. What does the evidence say about the latest research in what the second, third line treatments are for something? What's the epidemiology about in something, for instance? Now, the reason an MDT approach works really well here is because a medic might come in and sort of say, oh, this is how I would manage it. A nurse might have a very different perspective as to how they would manage a patient in that way. But actually what this does is this allows people to learn, number one, from the tutor who is an expert in that field and can guide and facilitate that discussion. But also what our students find highly beneficial is actually learning from their peers, and their peers will also prompt each other as to, this is how I might manage it. I wonder what people from around the globe do. Are your guidelines, are your protocols any different? And that fosters a really rich learning environment. Which is very interactive, it's very engaging, and actually it receives exceptional feedback. One thing I will add here is a lot of people will be concerned about the amount of time they need to spend. Now, our programs are all very flexible, and although we don't want people to come in and write essays on this forum, we do like people to engage, what we say, little and often. It's very much catered to work around your lifestyle, your professional lifestyle, and your personal lifestyle. So we do say you don't need to take time off for this. You're more than welcome to if you want to, but actually most of our students will undertake this program around their other commitments. It's asynchronous. So, as I'm a tutor right now, I might post something on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock, for example. Because of people's geographic locations, they will come throughout the day or throughout the couple of days and add in their discussions and have their input. It's very asynchronous. You can do it around your work commitments, but we do say little and often to keep that conversation going. We don't want people to spend 4 hours on a particular afternoon unless they want to. It's just about logging in, seeing what your fellow students have written, and having some input yourself, just to say, actually, I've read this guideline, or I've read this article that suggests this, and referencing it appropriately. So it's little and often engagement. And that's kind of what we really like to see. That's 40% of the mark. 20% of the mark, and another assessment method, is a module activity. This is something that really excites me, because this is where we allow you to boast postgraduate skills. The types of activities that we have here, which can be individual, so doing it by yourself, or as a group effort. Types of things we do are create a poster ready for a conference. One of the first things I did after graduating is put a poster together for a conference. It might be to write a blog piece. It might be to review an interesting one, an AI-generated article, and actually see, what the flaws might be, because we know AI can hallucinate. That's another module activity. Another one might be a narrated presentation to upload maybe onto social media. All of these really boast the opportunity for you to develop postgraduate skills that might make you a key opinion leader. It might improve your skills, which might help you to take the next step to going for another role or expanding your portfolio in another way. So that's 20% of the marks. 10% of the marks comes from a reflective journal. Healthcare professionals, we are used to reflecting, every year when I'm being appraised, or as an appraiser, when I'm appraising GPs, it's all about reflection. It's about, what have I learned today through a patient scenario? How have I reflected on that? What have I learned I don't know? What do I now need to go and learn? And then coming back a week or two later and thinking, actually, I've learned that, I can put that into practice. And actually, subsequently, how did that work for that patient? What, has that helped the patient? So has my learning improved patient outcomes? Right back to what Helen's first slide was. It's all about improving patient outcomes through medical education. So the reflective journal is worth 10% of your actual marks. And that's where you reflect on what you've learned, come back, and how you might have improved patient outcomes through that learning. And we give you some advice as to how to do that on our platform. 30% of the marks then comes from an end of module MCQ. This is where we ask you 30 questions. It's a timed exam, so it's 30 questions, but it covers content that you will have learned in that module over that 6 weeks. But it really does require higher order thinking. It's not only just about factual recall. It's about how do you then put that into practice? How do you apply your knowledge to clinical scenarios? But that's a timed exam, and that's worth 30% of the marks. So hopefully that's given you an overview of our assessment methods, kind of why we've structured our courses in that way. I think what I will add here are two things. Number one, our courses and our programs are all designed by healthcare professionals for healthcare professionals. So actually the content that you will see will be very applicable and will be directly relatable to your daily practice. First point, I think that's really important. I think the other thing that often gets asked is, by doing this course, will I become, for example, a consultant in neurology, or a consultant in dermatology, or a consultant in anti-aging? Would you believe we've got a course that's coming out in September on anti-aging medicine? That's a PG certificate on anti-aging, first of its kind. So as Helen said, we've got a good portfolio of courses. We're always thinking ahead of the game on what can we add that will be revolutionary to people, and kind of how they will be able to advise their patients. Just to answer my initial question, our courses will not make you a consultant. They are designed to make you feel more confident and more competent in your own healthcare setting. They may give you some post-nominals that actually allow you to have a slightly better chance when you go for a job interview. If you did one in dermatology, for example, and you can prove you've got a master's in dermatology, you might be slightly above somebody else an interview stage, where you might go to a hospital for supporting a consultant in a role in dermatology. So we don't make consultants, but we do empower you to feel more confident and competent in your own healthcare setting, as well as it may help you to attain further jobs in the future. So That's probably enough from me, but I'm here if you've got any other questions. But again, just to highlight, I'm really excited to see so many people from around the globe, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Anish. I've just got one quick question. You did mention it in your talk there, but are there exams at the end of each module? Are you able to just answer that question for us?
Yeah, sure. And by the way, if anyone else through the faculty wants to answer, please come in as well. Yes, so at the end of each module, we have a timed exam. We've got 30 MCQs to answer. It's timed and it will cover content that has been delivered through that module. So at the end of the 6 weeks, you have a timed exam, multiple choice, best of 5 that will cover content that you should have covered within the module and with the additional reading that we do provide you.
I just add to that, thanks, Anish. That's certainly the case for all of our core medical programs. There may be a few of our programs, our EMBA in healthcare management, for instance, and our leadership and management program. There's slightly different format for those programs. So if you've got any specific questions on particular topics and the structure, please let us know. But yet, the vast majority, we certainly find that a very useful part of making sure that you've really grasped all of the topics within the forum.
Thank you. Another question we've got here before I pass on to Karuna is, do we get literature recommendations? It could be for Anish or Helen, that one.
Helen, shall I take it or do you want to take it?
Please do, yeah.
Yeah, so the simple answer is yes. And what we do is when we are looking to design and create a new program, we always ensure we have the right faculty in place. And that involves our internal medical team, but it also involves external consultants or external medical professionals who are experts in that field. So if we're doing a master's in critical care, as an example, we would have a critical care consultant. Now, that's one of the ways in which we know that the literature we are providing as additional reading and references are all up to date. Our external medical experts are all frontline working healthcare professionals who will, by virtue of their roles, medically and clinically be up to date with the latest research in that area. And so what we present to you as references and additional reading lists are given to us by our subject level experts. And so you can be confident in the literature that we provide you is given to us by these experts. And I hope that answers the question, but more than happy for anyone else to add anything else that they feel would be relevant.
No, that's great. Thank you, Anish. That's fantastic. And thank you again, everyone, for sending your questions in. We've got a lot. I've got a full document here of questions that I'll go through later on. I just want to pass on now. Yeah, go on.
Sorry. Toby, there's just one of the latest questions that come through. There's just a question about who's the awarding body on is it Learna or the university? So it's the university. If it's on a University of South Wales program, this one is clinical psychiatry. So you get a USW MSc or PG Dip or PG Cert. It's obviously delivered in collaboration, run in collaboration, but that's why we validate the courses through the university. So it's the academic award from the UK university. Okay.
Thanks for picking up on that, Carl. Cheers.
I'm going to shoot off now. So lovely to see you all again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again, everyone, for sending questions in. We will go through them later on. I'll try and get to a few questions at the end of each section. But I'll pass on now to Dr. Karuna Hithramani. Hi, Karuna.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Toby. Lovely to see you all. So good to see so many of you. Anish has covered the assessments very well. So I just thought I'd be here to help with any questions that you may have specifically. I'll just introduce myself. I've also got a background in primary care. I've been working with Learna for about 5 years, initially as a tutor, and then I came on as a senior lecturer. I work with the tutors, very closely with the tutors, but I also speak to students and help with the academic side of things. It's a very good student support service. and they do the majority of the student queries, but I will ring students if need be, if there's any academic queries in particular. I tutor on several courses with my background. I've got an interest in medical education. I also tutor on primary cardiovascular medicine, and I'm also family medicine lead for the MSc, and also the postgraduate certificate in menopause medicine lead. So I do a lot of tutoring, and I try to help students as much as I can from an academic side of things. I think Anish covered the components very well. It's a lot of information for you to take in, but I just want to reassure you that week on week, from a student's perspective, we want you to be focused in the academic forum with little and often contributions like Anish described. And then at the end of the week, we ask you to submit a reflective journal for that week, talking about any learning gaps that you may have helped sort out, or what you want to learn, and also how have you applied that learning back into your practice. And you will have that reflection shown to your tutor, who, as we said, is experts in the subject, and it's your own dialogue with the tutor in that sort of reflective journal space. But of course, you've got the academic forum discussions, which are multidisciplinary and global, and everything that's been covered as well. Alongside that, you have a module activity that's ongoing over the 6 weeks, and then right at the end, there's an end of module exam that Anish said. So it is hard work, but it's very achievable, and it will be 6 weeks of a topic, and then you have to make one module, and then there'll be the 6 modules, all led by a program lead and then expert tutors under that program lead, which is subject specific. I don't really have much more to say, but obviously I'm here if you've got any questions throughout the course of the morning, and indeed if there's anything after that, if you send your queries, which I'm sure Toby will give you, I can reply to that after this open day as well. Lovely to meet you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Karuna. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be flying some questions over to you later on. Right, we'll pass on now to Helen, who's going to give a good introduction to our online learning platform.
Thanks, Toby. Okay, I'm gonna illustrate a little of what Anish was describing, and also Carl, just before he left us, made some very good points there on the structure and how we deliver our program. So let's have a little look at it together. And please add your questions in the chat as we go along. And if there's anything that you'd want to more information on, then of course we'll share this with you. But let me just share my screen again, just a second. Hold on. So I'm live on our Moodle platform, but this is a demo area. You should just see if one of the team can just shout if you can see the dashboard there for Moodle with our Learner tiles on there. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's all there. Thanks, Helen.
Thanks, Toby. It always just looks like Zoom, because we're on Zoom. I can only see Zoom on my screen, so forgive me, guys. I got to ask. But this is live. But what I'm showing you here is a demonstration module from our Moodle platform. But essentially, we will start to enroll you onto the program, and we have a really lovely enrollment process which allows you to get used to what you're going to be expected to do on day one, module 1. We want you all ready to get going with your education, to get going with the learning, and to join your group. So there are quite a few stages that we take you through before that, and when you start, and you started on your program, and the chips are down, and it's important to you to engage and to get through the program and to qualify with that excellent qualification at the end. We know how much you want to focus. We know how important this qualification is to you, and how much commitment you've given to join the program in the first place. So we make sure that we give you all of that information on the platform at any time. So when you're on the platform and you're using Moodle, and it'll become on speed dial, either on your mobile phone or your laptop or your tablet. We make sure that we use a universally acceptable platform, and we've made our own version of a learning environment within the Moodle software. That means we keep right up to date with all of the latest development in instructional design, which is the design of learning environments, specifically for an online interaction. And as I described earlier, student engagement, and a feeling that you are engaging and connecting with the humans behind the online platform is so important for us. This platform should almost feel invisible. It should really feel like you can find your way around them, you can find the information that you need, and you can contribute, more importantly, your own work to that discussion as you go forward. So we are constantly taking student feedback and feedback from our tutors and making sure we keep up to date with the latest developments to make this a really lovely experience for you. So I'm going to show you the main features of your own personal learning account with us, which we will set up for you as soon as we enroll you, and then where you can find that information as you continue. Because as with everything, you may be that type of person who reads all the instructions before you start, or you may be a little like me and I throw the instructions on my shoulder and I just want to get stuck in. So we know that we have different styles and different ways of approaching our learning and approaching life, and so we make sure that all of this information is there for you to dip back into and to keep going. But we do recommend at the start of the program, before we get you going on the actual content and before you start working with your designated tutor and your tutor group, that you go through a week of study skills. And that is an area where we make sure that you get used to the environment, you get used to what you're seeing on the actual platform. All of these little features that we've developed, as you can see my mouse moving around there, each of these things come to life, and we try to make it as user-friendly as possible. User-friendliness is such an important area for us in our development. So please let us know how you get on with the platform, and please give us your feedback, which we will gather from you at really crucial points to make sure that we continue to develop. So let me just go in. So as you can see, you can dig into any of these areas, and this will be what you'll see. We will set all of this up for you, and through a very easy login process, you will be brought onto this platform, and we're all waiting for you to join in and to start in your particular study group. So there'll be key features for you to go through. You will see your own chosen program. For the purposes of the demo, we're using medical education, which is one of our very popular programs. Everybody from any specialty, if they want to develop their medical education skills, this is a fantastic program for you to join in with. So we're giving you that to have a look at today, but that could be any of our 45 live programs and those still to come in the future. So your chosen program will be there. We do suggest you run one program at a time, and I saw in the commentary there were a few people asking, you know, can I do more than one? This is a really good commitment and a really good way of focusing yourself on a particular topic area and really getting absorbed into that learning group. I'm a previous student of Learna. I've gone through one of our programs myself, and I know that engagement is really important, and your ability to geek out a bit, right? So this is a really good opportunity for you to really dig into this topic. It's something that interests you. It's something that you may not do day to day, but you really want to start doing day to day. So focus on one topic at a time, focus on one particular area of our process at a time, get used to our platform, and then come back again and again. That's our best advice for this. Our programs are short and sharp, and we move through them quite quickly. So you can definitely take one on, get it done, get your qualification, come to the graduation ceremony, and then jump back in again. So we do allow you to do that, of course, and encourage you to. So I'm going to go straight into study skills. And this then shows you the layout that you're going to see every single day through the platform. So it allows you to move through 5 days that we've put together for the study skills week. And then that gives you a nice feeling of how we break up the content when you actually get to the modules. Which I'll go on to in a second. We've got some introductions, and there's an introduction here from our founder, who's Professor Steve Davis, and Steve has really put all of his medical education and his academic experience into really giving us a vision for the development of these programs, which we are proud to uphold, and we certainly look to him as a spearhead for guiding the quality levels that we deliver into this program, and indeed through the network of tutors. The aims of each module are shown really clearly for you. The learning outcomes that we have designed specifically for you to be able to achieve Carl spoke earlier about this being a level 7 program. That means at a postgraduate level, we need you to achieve level 7 learning outcomes. In order to do that, we break up the content. Sorry, somebody's got their mic on there. That's no problem. I didn't know whether that was a question or not, but I don't think so, Toby. I'll keep going for now, but please raise your hand if you want to ask anything. I'm more than happy to. So each of the learning outcomes are designed to make sure that you progress through the program, and it also ensures the consistency of the programs then as well. And then a brief content summary, what you're going to expect. Our programs tend to run Monday and then through to the weekend, and you can join in whenever your work and life balance allows you to. We encourage you to join in early at the start of each week of the modules, and then work your way through so that you're joining in and you're working together with your fellow students. But we also accommodate you being able to join in at all of the time. So coming back and looking at the content summary, reminding yourself of what that particular theme is for that week, what we're all working towards together, really helps to put that into perspective. And then we go through the actual activity sections. And so really, just as a very, very clear linear step through style, you start at day 1 and you work your way through. And when that comes onto the module, which I'll show you just quickly before I end the demo, that then takes you through each week of that module. There's 6 weeks per module, as I described earlier. Then we have a little break in between so that we can do some marking. We mark you at the end of each module, just as Anish has described, on those 4 assessment points. And then we can then allow you to progress on to the next module. So this step through style is there from the very start within our study skills area. Just get you used to it right from the beginning. We also then really want to give you some really core skills to help your academic practice. And this is going to develop throughout your career. You may be coming in at a certain level of academic experience, but it may be something that you left way back just, in your earlier career, and you're coming back into it. So this is an opportunity for you to develop those skills. So we will take you through the Moodle platform. We will show you the course formats and the teaching methods that we are going to apply for you. We'll talk to you about time management, such an important thing, and to make sure that we make sure that you progress as you should through the program. You don't feel left behind. You don't feel you're waiting for anybody else. You just feel like you're progressing just at the right pace, which is relevant then for your study. How to write scientifically, how to look for evidence, and how to quote evidence. We are very much fans of evidence-based learning. Of course, and medicine is embedded in evidence-based learning and practice. So learning how to knit that into your responses and how to improve your submissions all comes as part of these skills that we teach you. Academic best practice. What happens if you don't get it quite right? We will certainly go into plagiarism. We will certainly go into the codes of conduct. That means that at this level, this is your own work, and this is the best reflection of your work and your knowledge as well. So we'll show you how to avoid those common pitfalls and to make sure that you give good submissions from the very start. We'll give you a little taster of what it's like to be assessed. So in the Study Skills Week, you will get a little bit of a final assessment. It's also a final commitment stage as well. You're ready to go. And then after that study week, you'll be straight into the content. As I said, we capture your feedback at all stages. Please forgive us and please join in, because this is such an important part of the process, and paying it forward to future students is so important. But we really want to know how you're getting on as well. So we can tell how you're getting on, because the platform is designed to track all activity, as I say, but we really want you to tell us as well. So we give you opportunities to do that. It's worth showing here that we have a fantastic team, and all of this team are behind the programme and are enabling you to reach out to us at any time. We will give you FAQs, or a knowledge base of frequently asked questions, so that even if it's out of office hours here in the UK, or you're on a night shift and you're working through your shift and doing some learning, you can certainly tap into that rich source of information and find your way through. Reach out to your tutors at all times. They are there to guide you through this process. They are not scary. They are not in any way unapproachable. They are facilitators for your learning. They're learning alongside you. They're taking you through this process as you move through yourself. And they are experienced. They've taken many students through the process. So please reach out to your tutor. And of course, engage with your fellow students as well. So that's basically the study skills section. And as you'll see, we're quite visual as well. So we give you visual indicators. So you very quickly get used to seeing some of our icons. You'll be able to tell when something is important, when something needs your attention. And then we use a form of a RAG rating. It's red and amber, and then we have blue to give you tips and ideas. So a feeling of knowing what's important and where to look on the page. Those are all important. So visual indicators for you alongside the content. Let's leave Steve there, and I wanted to move on then to the actual module itself. So just going to click back and then go into medical education. And then if I've got time, but Toby, please move me on because I love this platform so much. I will talk about it all day. So please move me on if I'm taking time from anybody else. But I wanted
good. Thanks, Helen.
Quickly go through. Thank you. I wanted to just quickly go through the feeling of an actual module. I mentioned the community feeling and reaching out to your fellow students, and we've provided a very familiar WhatsApp community and an ability to engage with everybody who's doing that particular topic. So even if you're in multiple groups, you can reach out to everybody. So for instance, if you're doing psychiatry, then you could reach out within that WhatsApp community to everybody else who's going through that psychiatry program at the same time as you. That's a really good way of engaging. We also have student representatives, and you can step forward as a student representative when you join your program. And that's a very good way of contributing in a more formal way then to the development. So we have a student voice module that you can work your way through as well, and that shows you how you can contribute. So on the fly contributions as you're working through the program for all students, and also ways of engaging with your fellow students as well. This section here, it's grayed out a little for me. I just need your profile image is going to go in there. You'll have a little avatar that you can place in there and build up your own profile. And this is a messaging area where you can also send direct messages. So you can send a direct message to your tutor. You can certainly reach out to our team here, our in-house team, for any assistance or for anything that you can't find the information for. So please use those areas as well. So again, it can feel a little bit of a lonely place, online learning, when you're in your own particular office or at the end of the ward and it's a night shift and you're there with your low light over your desk and you're trying to get some of your work done. It can feel like a bit of a lonely place, but we try to make sure that you have that community around you, that there's somebody there always that you can reach out to, and there's information that you can reach out to as well, and use it as you work through. So the layout of the module you should now recognize as the layout that we saw that you'll see in the Study Skills Week. And again, the aims of the module are here for you to move into. And then we also have library resources, and I'll click into the library in a second. Very important to support your academic skills and to help you to search for recognised and recommended reading articles and different media as well. We certainly curate really good videos. We know that some of the best description videos are delivered by excellent healthcare professionals on really good platforms like YouTube and various areas. So as Anish described, when our tutors and our program leads are bringing together the program, they will develop some multimedia themselves, but we'll also curate really good multimedia that's recommended from those sources as well. So we will include as much of an interaction as we can within the library section. And then there are specific reading resources just for this particular program as well. So for each module, you'll see specific reading resources that you can go through at any time. You go back to them if your tutor recommends them within the particular activity that they're posting for you. And then you can also go back and use them when you're reviewing that module and moving forward onto the next one. So these reading resources, again, are there for the life of your program, depending on which program you're on and how many modules you're going through. We add these in, just as Anish described a little earlier. just go back into the main body of the module, and just to quickly show you, the module activity is there, which Anish described as that great activity to demonstrate your skills and to hone your skills for really good activities in healthcare, and presenting your work and presenting using your presentation skills outside of the learning experience. Reflective journal is there. And then the weekly topics. So you dig into each one of these weekly topics, and I'll quickly show you one of them as you work through the module. The end of module exam, or the MCQs exam as we call them, multiple choice questions. Of course, for anybody in medical education, MCQs are the most popular. Best answer format is the best way of you really feeling that you know the correct answer to that particular case problem. Again, presented in realistic case problem style, and 30 questions at the end, if your program has that. End of module survey, and on completion of the survey, then we will, and all of those elements, we will then send your results out to you, and we'll let you know where to go and look for your results. The right-hand side of our page, as I say, we've got our team there, we've got those student services and additional information, and then we also have links through to all of these important areas for you at any time. So this follows you all the way through your programme. As you're working through each of the sections, you can go into any of those as and when you like. This renders really well on a mobile, on multiple mobile platforms, and on a tablet platform. And what we see from our data is that students tend to engage with the academic forum from a mobile device. You may be on your commute, you may be, as I say, at the taking a break in the mess, or at the end of a shift, and you'll go in on your mobile. And then when you're submitting a particular piece of work, or you're submitting an activity, then you'll probably transfer over onto a laptop or to a desktop computer to do that. Fine to do that. We synchronize all of that activity for you so that you can contribute to your own progression and make sure that you're engaging with your tutor group at all times. Just quickly dip into this. This is our academic forum. Anish described this really well earlier. And just to give you some visuals, we want you to be really interactive on this forum. So we, as I say, we're not going to have somebody standing there and sort of delivering lecture notes to you. We're going to engage you in some discussions. So we want you to be a direct responder. We want you to respond really, really well and really rapidly to the questions or to the problems that are being posed by your tutor at the start of each module, and at the start of each week, rather, to cover each of those weekly topics. And we also want you to be a really good peer reviewer. Please give feedback to your fellow students on their posts, dig into their posts and pull out that favourite topic of yours and then expand on it a little further. And that combination of peer activity and then oversight from your tutor really, really enriches the forum. And then it's a wonderful discussion thread that you can tap back into then at any time to remind yourself of how much you did in that week. Quickly going into the forum, and the layout is like this. Please excuse the anonymous names. We're just using this for a demo, so it's only for you to get a real feel for it. As soon as your particular course is set up and you're enrolled, you will see your tutor posting your initial scenarios, and then you can just go straight in and have a look. We always like everybody to greet each other at the start. So just an example here, you can see this tutor has just described what we're going to go through in this particular module and what your expectations are. And then we would have your fellow users then, or your fellow students within that particular group, coming back in and giving their introductions. So it really builds a lovely group from the very start, and everybody gets to know each other. We know that our students in those particular groups may join up in various ways for them to continue their studies. I know that I saw in one of the comments, is there an opportunity for any face-to-face or online or sort of visual interaction with your fellow students? And yes, please, we encourage you to engage with each other and to make sure that this feels as real as and inclusive for you as you possibly can. So yes, it looks like we've got a lot of text on a page, but actually behind this is in each of these is a student and a tutor who are joining together as a group. We go back out just to one of the topic areas so that you can see the types of scenarios that we would be going through. This is just an example, as I say, of how we would pose some problems. This is medical education. So Anish spoke really well about how we give an engaging, clinically rich case scenario. This is probably less so. This is the theory of medical education, of course, but we can show you examples of our case problems. Please let us know. Please drop us a line if you'd like to see any examples of the content as we progress, and then we can go through that. But then the tutor posts the starting point or the discussion point, and then the students come in and then they give their responses. There's no need to feel that you have to be first to respond. It's really good to have early responses so the tutor knows that everybody's there and everybody's engaging. But as those discussions build, as you can see with this one, I'm scrolling through it really quickly, but as you can see, every student then picks up the discussion, brings their own experience to it, goes off, does some reading, and brings that reading and that additional learning back into the discussion thread. Anish described that this represents 40% of your overall marks. This is a really important part to just get used to. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get into it, it feels very comfortable. It feels very inclusive, and you're able to share in a safe learning environment. You're able to share your questions and your own experiences around those particular topics that you're discussing. And then we take you through those learning points to make sure that you've enhanced your knowledge as a result. Let me just go back up just a second. So just as you can see, easy to navigate all of the different features that are there. You can subscribe to any of the channels, so you can turn on subscriptions. You can see which are the popular channels, and you can star channels that you'd want to go back to and have a look at as well. So there's always something. There's always these features here to help you to make the most and to personalize your own learning experience just that little further. I said that I would just go straight onto the library. And again, I just wanted to show you the library. This is University of South Wales. We have a fantastic actively develop access to the academic skills and resources to help you to work your way through the programme academically, and then to search journals and to search through for reading links and the recommended reading that's relevant to your particular topics. We also use and recommend the standard online repositories, PubMed and other repositories, open access journals, for instance, from the British Medical Journal. There's a huge amount of open access content that's available. So even if you are internationally based, we really try very hard to make sure that we include all of our core material is open access and able for everybody to access without too much additional expense, and so that your access to the programme is equal and inclusive, as I say. I think that's about it as far as the overview is concerned. Toby, I'm more than happy to keep this open, and if there are any other questions or if we'd like to go into anything in more detail, then we certainly can. But otherwise, I might just hand back over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. I've got one quick question for you. How many hours a day / week does a typical course require?
So our mantra here is little and often. Please engage with the forum as often as you can, and certainly to tap in and to join in at the start of each week to see what the topics are and what you're likely to be working on. It's completely up to you, and of course it varies student by student as to how many hours they actually commit, but to get a very good chance of passing, and certainly if you're wanting to pass with a distinction or with a merit level for any of these particular programs, then we recommend that you do commit a couple of hours each day, and then accumulate those through the week so that you have ample time to engage fully and to contribute. Anish, is there particular session sort of timings that you're aware of, or indeed Karuna, sorry, just as both experienced tutors, probably better than I, from my previous student experience, to know if there's a particular core hour time that we would want the students to recommend to them?
Karuna, you want to go first?
I don't know a specific. I think little and often. I think you need to be in that forum every day, reading. We ask for a minimum of 4 responses, but it's background reading. A lot of the learning is experiential learning, so it's what you're bringing from your own experiences. So it's not hours and hours of reading, but clearly we do need to go into the forum and share some best practices and some of the evidence you've brought in. But then equally, you're replying to your peers for some of those responses. So those are not quite so time consuming. I don't know if you want to expand on that, Anish.
I would say something very similar, to be honest. Look, I think for me, the summary of this is, we know you're busy because we're busy. We're healthcare professionals. We get that, right? And so I think what doesn't work is, saying, I've been really busy for the past 2 weeks in work, and so I'll just kind of retrospectively go in, because actually it's an ongoing conversation, a discussion between you and your peers and the tutor on that week, which is about a specific topic. So by the next week, you've actually moved on to another topic. So it is very much little and often. It's, what would I do, and what do I tell the students to do is, look, I've posted this, have a read. If you're going to work, start thinking of a response, have a look at some responses by your colleagues, log in that evening, whatever works for you, but log in that evening potentially and sort of say, look, great post, seen all of these, just got back from work or whatever. I kind of, this is what I do in my practice, or this is a paper that I've come across which suggests this, nice guidelines say this, this is what I do. What's everyone else's experiences wherever you work? What do you tend to do? You're prompting your peers, with a question as well. So we're not looking for that much writing. We're looking for a really well-constructed, small piece of writing. It's little and often. If you can just stay engaged throughout each week, that's what we're after. We're not after huge essays, but you have to be in there to contribute throughout that week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not essays, it's about a discussion on what you do, what's best practices. We're very aware that practices, resources are different in different parts of the world. So it's about learning from each other, learning from the students, learning from the tutors, and sharing that experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're getting short on time a little bit, but any questions that anyone has that doesn't get answered in this, feel free to email admissions@learna.ac.uk, and they'll get back to you right away. But we'll try and get through as many as we can. I'll pass on now to our Head of Admissions, Kath Garfield. Thanks, Kath.
Thanks, Toby. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we're running out of time, so we'll get through this ASAP. Like Toby has said, I'm aware that there's quite a lot of questions still coming through, which is fantastic. Please don't worry, we will get round to answering your questions for you. If you email us directly at admissions, we'll be able to get through you individually then. So please don't worry if your questions aren't answered in this session. We will get back to you as soon as possible. So I wanted to really briefly touch base on our admissions process. I know some of you have applied already and been accepted, which is fantastic. So congratulations, that's amazing. And we really look forward to having you in September. We've tried to make our application process as streamlined as possible. And the main things really to touch base on that we look for when you're completing your application is your personal statement. We normally ask for around 200 words just to find out a little bit about you, why it is you want to apply for the course, what is it that you've done previously, just for us to understand you a little bit better. We then ask you to upload all of your degree certificates so we can see all of your undergraduate degrees and the subject that you've done them in. We then ask for a little bit about your work experience, so what you've done previously, what it is that you're doing at the moment, again for us to just build a picture in regards to how this course is going to help you. We then have standard, your references. We ask you to enter 2 referee details. We actually only need 1 reference to come back, but what we have found is sometimes referees can take a little while to respond, and what we don't want to happen is have you waiting ready to be accepted because we're waiting for your referee to come back in. So a little bit of advice when you're filling out your application is if you can put details of 2 referees, we tend to find that we can get you through the system a lot quicker. And then I can see in the chat, we've had quite a few questions about proof of English. Now, our proof of English is slightly different for each of our partners. We have listed them all on the website, but please feel free to reach out at any point if you do have any questions about proof of English. We've got a fantastic admissions department. They're able to help you every step of the way with your application and proof of English. So if you do have any queries, then please let us know. I know a couple of questions have been around Duolingo. Our University of Buckingham do accept Duolingo, so if you've got that, please add that on your application. We've had some questions about the degree certificate. Do we accept MBBS certificates? Absolutely we do. No problems at all. So if for any reason you're filling out your application, you've got a question there and then, reach out to us and we'll be able to help you ASAP. We do look at turning around an application within 24 to 48 hours once we've got all of your submitted application. So we do work quite quickly. All I do say is if you can set aside some time when you're doing your application, it's much easier for you to be able to do it in one sitting, and don't forget to press the submit button at the end so it comes through to us ready to review. So that is our application process. There's a couple of questions about how you go on to do the MSc once you've done the PG Dip. Now, once you've finished your PG Dip and you've passed, we will reach out to you to see if you'd like to go on to your MSc, and we'll do your entire application for you. So you wouldn't need to re-go through everything when you're applying for your MSc. We'll do that for you on your behalf. All you would need to do is send an email into admissions to say, I'm currently doing my PG Dip and would love to carry on to do the MSc, and we will take care of the rest for you. You can reach out to us at any point during your postgraduate diploma if you are already thinking of doing the MSc. Alternatively, you can have a little break after your PG Dip and then contact us. And again, the same will apply. We'll be able to create an application for you so you can join the MSc. So the main thing from us in admissions is for you to get your application in as soon as possible. You will receive an acceptance letter from Learna directly once you've been accepted. That will come directly through to you via email with a PDF attached with your acceptance letter. I know there's been a couple of questions around that. The acceptance letter comes from us directly at Learna and not from our university partner. However, your degree certificate will be issued by the university partner. So I hope that clears everything up. We've still got a couple of minutes, we're in time. But again, if you do have any further questions, please reach out to us directly in admissions and we'll respond back to you.
Thanks, Kath. We've just had one quick question about, will there be a reduction? Oh, I've just lost it. Will there be a reduction in the cost of fees after a PG Dip for an MSc?
No, it's the same price. So you won't be penalised if, for instance, you do the PG Dip now and then you want to do the MSc later, or if you do the MSc in one go, you pay exactly the same.
Thank you. Right, we'll pass on now to Anna, who's Student Services.
Hi, I'll try and make it as quick as possible, Toby. Morning, afternoon, and good evening, everyone. We are happy to connect with you virtually today, and a warm welcome to our current and prospective students from all around the globe. So I'm Anna, and I'm the Student Service Coordinator for LearnaDiplomaMSc. And as a coordinator, my role is to support and enhance your academic journey from the moment you apply till the date that you graduate. Every day I oversee the admissions team, and like Kath mentioned already, they're the ones that will guide you through your application process. Then I also manage the student services team, and this is where we assist you once you are enrolled, and we help navigate you through the various supports and the support system and the platforms that we offer you to be successful. As a student now, your very first contact will be with our wonderful admissions team, and they will guide you through everything that you need, like Kath also said, in order to enroll successfully with us. And once you enroll, then you will get introduced to the student services team. They will support you through any questions or difficulties that you have on Moodle, or you're just not sure of anything. You can just email us at support.learna.ac.uk, and we will advise you on what you need to do going forward. What student services also do is that we send out communication on your Moodle platform and and the WhatsApp group. You are invited to join the WhatsApp group for your particular course. This is where you connect with your peers, and also this is spontaneous interactions to also help you build a supportive community amongst your peers. We also send out reminders and updates. We know that you are busy, and we keep you informed of upcoming deadlines and important information via WhatsApp and also on your Moodle platform. This will help you to stay on track with your studies. Just finally, important dates that you need to note: our application deadline, like Toby said, for September cohort 2024 is by the 30th of August 2024. And the cohort officially starts the 2nd of September 2024. The next student recruitment after that will be in March 2025. So if you decide not to do September, your next opportunity will be in March. This is a very quick summary of what we do, and in order to make your study smooth and successful. I do hope to hear from all new students very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And we'll end it there, but thank you so much for everyone joining us today. Any questions that haven't been answered, or you haven't been able to ask, just email us. You can email us at admissions@learna.ac.uk. You'll see the email in the chat as well, but just get in touch with us. Go on our website if you have any questions. We're here to help you. And again, thank you so much for joining, and thank you to all the Learner staff as well for joining me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Like I said, any questions, let us know. But thank you so much.